Hey friends, if you don't understand withdrawal symptoms and you try to quit, things aren't going to go well. I don't want you to fail, and I know you don't want to fail. Today I'm going to break down the top 5 withdrawal symptoms. These are the big ones, the ones that blindside people the exact moment when they start losing motivation and energy during that quitting process. I'm John from Always Be Quitting, and I've been helping people quit smoking and vaping for 25 years. In my opinion, managing withdrawal symptoms is the number one skill that people need to have in order to be successful. It's so important that it's a major part of my quitting community discussions. We talk about it all the time. I even have a separate channel just for that. And I spend a ton of time in private one on one sessions helping people through their withdrawal symptoms. My top 5 withdrawal symptom rankings are based on research data and my experience. But here's what's important: your withdrawal might look different. Some people might barely feel the one that I rate number 1. Others might get slammed by the one that I put in the number 5 position. Before we dive into the countdown, let's talk about how you can move forward. Here's what I know after decades in this field. You're probably having that same old internal should I quit conversation with yourself over and over again. It's exhausting and it keeps you stuck. So here's what I want to offer you. Every week, I'll send you an Always Be Quitting tip. It's one 3-minute email with strategies that can actually move you forward. Whether you're still thinking about quitting someday, maybe you're ready to set a quit date, or you've already stopped and you want to make sure you don't go back, these tips are going to be helpful for you. It's free, it's practical, and it gives you that weekly momentum that makes the difference between staying stuck and actually making some progress. You can click the link below and sign up for the Always Be Quitting tips. Now, let's count down those 5 symptoms. Coming in at number 5 is sleep disturbances. Why is it number 5? Because I think it's one of the most disruptive symptoms. It severely impacts your ability to function and resist cravings. What it feels like, you probably already know. You can't fall asleep. You might wake up multiple times. You may not be able to get back to sleep. And you're probably just exhausted during the day. Like a lot of withdrawal symptoms, it has a peak in the first week, typically between days 4 and 7. It can start kicking in. It can last 2 weeks, and in some people, it lasts even longer than that. Relapse risk on this is high. That's because exhaustion weakens your resolve, and those sleepless nights start adding up, and they impact nearly every aspect of your life. Your body is used to nicotine regulating your sleep cycles. When you quit, those cycles get disrupted. The good news is most of the time it's pretty temporary. Your sleep will normalize. Some people actually sleep better when they quit, so it's important to keep that in mind. If you've got a comment to make about that, maybe you've experienced some sleep disturbances when you tried to quit in the past, or maybe your sleep got better. Let us know down in the comments, and you can help other people by telling them about your experience. Coming in at number 4 is depression or depressed mood. Why did I put it number 4? Because it's identified as one of the universal symptoms of withdrawal from almost any addictive substance. What it feels like is what depression feels like. Nothing feels enjoyable. You get this thinking of, what's the point? You probably have low energy. You could have some lethargy. One of the big reasons I think depression deserves to make my top 5 list is because nicotine is a stimulant. And when you quit, you stop taking in so much of that stimulant. It can also feel like depression when that stimulant level drops, and it can also feel like you've got low energy, which people also attribute to being depression-like. Generally, this peaks at about day 3 to 10 after your quit day. The relapse risk is high on this one, and that's because it drives that thinking that smoking makes me feel better, and that typically can lead to relapse. It's important to remember, this isn't you. It's your brain chemistry rebalancing. Nicotine was artificially boosting your dopamine level for years. Now your brain needs time to make that reset. Usually this is about 2 to 4 weeks. I want to point out, just because it made my list, it doesn't mean that you're going to feel depressed when you quit. A lot of people feel better, and that's important to remember. Another thing that's important is if you have depression, you can quit smoking and vaping. And just because you have depression doesn't mean you're going to get worse in your depression symptoms. What I don't want you to have is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, if I quit, I'm going to feel more depressed. Therefore, I'm not going to quit because I don't want to feel that. And that's completely understandable. I should point out that it is temporary. And I don't want your fear of depression to keep you from even trying. Don't forget that quitting smoking can actually help with depression in the near future and definitely does in the long term. I'm going to throw this out there. Remember that this is not medical or mental health treatment. You do need to talk to your doctor if you feel depressed. Coming in at number 3 is anxiety. Why is it number 3? Because it creates those symptoms that feel like something's seriously wrong inside you. And what are those symptoms? Some people get a racing heart. They might feel chest tightness. They might have panic or a little bit of nervousness. It does peak about days 3 to 7. It has a very high relapse rate because people smoke or vape for relief when the anxiety hits. Here's the trick your brain plays. Anxiety feels so bad that your brain tells you that smoking or vaping will fix it. That's the addiction talking. The anxiety is temporary. It's just your nervous system getting adjusted to a change in nicotine levels. By the way, I've helped a lot of people with anxiety quit. If you go to my channel, you'll see an interview with Catherine. In that interview, we spend a lot of time in the video talking about anxiety and nicotine. The link is in the description, and I think it's something you might want to check out. I will say, if you have heart problems, please, please, please quit smoking or vaping. But if you do feel a fast or irregular heartbeat, chest tightness when you quit, please call your doctor immediately. It is possible that coincidental to quitting, you're having a heart issue. So don't just write it off as, oh, that's anxiety from withdrawal if you know that you have heart problems. Again, if this type of content you find helpful, you really should sign up for my Always Be Quitting tips. You can watch all the withdrawal videos in the world, and unless you take action, nothing's going to change. Nothing, I guarantee it. I recommend that you pause this video, get on that list, start getting the weekly emails, then come watch the rest of this video. Coming in at number 2 is irritability and anger. Why is it number 2? You probably already know the answer to this one. Research shows that irritability and anger are among the most commonly reported withdrawal symptoms. They show up in nearly every research study that asks about withdrawal. By the way, I do ask all my clients when I first meet with them about their withdrawal symptom history, and notoriously every one of them lists irritability and anger as a withdrawal symptom that they've experienced. What does it feel like? It's short fuse. It's snapping at people. It's when you get sort of raged or all worked up over small things that normally wouldn't work you up. The peak that it happens is typically 2 to 4 days. The relapse risk on this one, unfortunately, is very high. And the reason is because this symptom can often impact other relationships and the people around you. The person who is quitting thinks stuff like, I don't want to be a jerk to all the people around me, so I'm just going to go back to smoking or vaping. Or I'm just not going to quit because I don't want to be that way. And if you're experiencing anger and irritability, your friends and family might start saying things like, and I'm serious, I've heard people say this, I want you to quit, but if you're going to treat me like this, I just wish you would go smoke or vape, get it over with. This symptom blindsides people, even people that have been even tempered for decades and may not experience irritability or anger. Your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, they start noticing. The key is to warn them ahead of time that you're quitting. When I'm working with people, either in a support group setting like my community or a one-on-one setting, we talk a lot about personal relationships and quitting and how quitting can impact those relationships. And with respect to irritability and anger, that is a big thing that we're often talking about. Coming in at number 1, and I know you've been waiting for this one, is cravings. Why is it number 1? It is nearly universal, and 30% of people report severe intensity. It can hit multiple times per hour. What it feels like, it's an overwhelming urge to smoke or vape that can be sudden and really intense. Generally, it peaks at days 2 to 4, but cravings can hit throughout withdrawal. They last for months. They do gradually decrease in frequency and intensity. I've made an entire video for you on the craving timeline, which is worth watching. I'll link it in the description below. The reason that I put this as number 1 on my list is because the relapse risk on this is the absolute highest. This is the symptom that takes down more quit attempts than anything else. I would say that this is the reason most people don't even make it through the first 24 hours of quitting. A lot of the other symptoms haven't even had enough time to kick in 24 hours, but cravings start immediately. And you probably know that because you probably understand what happens when you wake up in the morning. Every morning, if you're a regular smoker or vapor, when you wake up, you're experiencing a craving. When quitting, they start coming in waves. They peak and then they pass. The truth is that most cravings last about 3 to 5 minutes. And if you can ride that wave out without smoking or vaping, the craving goes away. So now that you know my top 5, what about yours? Is this the order you would rank them in? Let us know in the comments below. I'm going to respond to every comment that comes down there, and I want to hear your experience with these. And if you think your top 5 matches my top 5. Now that you know my 5 top withdrawal symptoms that blindside most people, let's be honest. Knowing about withdrawal and managing it successfully are 2 completely different things. That's why every week I send out my Always Be Quitting Tips email. It's a quick 3-minute read. It's free. It's personally written by me. These emails give you proven strategies that work, whether you're thinking about quitting, getting ready, you're already stopped, or you're fighting to stay quit. If you're serious about moving forward, do one thing now. Click below and sign up. It takes 2 minutes, actually less than 2 minutes. And if you want to quit, I recommend that you watch this video next. I'm John, and remember, always be quitting until you've quit for the last time. Happy quitting.